Hey there, this is Puzzled Oysters. We're back, finally. It's been a while, and if you've been following the thread, then you know it's because I ran into some problems. I just kept losing over and over, so I decided to just start the game from the beginning with a clean slate. No deaths hanging over me. So I've been working my way through like that, and I tried to do everything the same, but it just doesn't always happen that way. So I've been keeping a log of things that I found that are different outcomes, things I've noticed I didn't before. So I'm gonna just catch you up on some of those things before we get back into it. So the very first day I did really well. Better than I expected. I think just because knowing what's important and what's not, I did things in a more efficient order. So I had a lot of extra time, and that led to me sleeping a lot. And sleeping so much led to this dream I'm going to show you. So here we go. So that was a kind of a cool little dream. There's not much to it, but it's nice and atmospheric. And by the way, that quest I didn't finish the first time through about finding what the kids are up to at night. I didn't do it this time either. I looked around the train station seeing if I could find what's his name, Licca, the one that they execute. Maybe I should have gone back to Notkin's place, see if they were executing him there. Or maybe it's just not possible to finish. I don't know. Maybe they put in an unfinishable quest on the first day to get you used to it. I don't really intend to find out at this point. After I'm done, maybe I'll look that stuff up. So the next thing I'm going to show you is from day 2. It's from when I first meet Capella. But before I talk about that, let me back up a little bit. I don't know if you remember the very first time I meet the Changeling. She tells me she foresees that I'm going to drown the whole town in blood. Well, anyway, when I first meet Capella here, the subject got onto the Changeling. I didn't start taking pictures until after I realized it was different and kind of interesting. And so somehow in the conversation, I say that I met with the Changeling, and I tell her she had a vision that I will. The next thing I'm going to show is from when I first visit Isidor's house. It's not much, Isidor being Artemis' father. So I go in there, and I find some cabinets that I didn't look through my first time playing. Maybe my inventory was just full. But there were some really useful things, and there were 2 items that I had not gotten in the other playthrough. So first there's this cotton wool. I wasn't able to carry it, so I left it behind. And then I also found a cloak. Now this cloak was really useful because that's what I needed to upgrade my inventory, and it also is good protective equipment. The next thing I want to show you is from day 2 as well. It's the first time I met with Ruben, and the conversation took a slightly different course. And he revealed something that I haven't known before, so let's show that now. So what this is saying, basically, is that Isidor started sending letters in May. He wrote multiple letters. Now, this game takes place in September. I don't remember how I know it's that month exactly, but the season changing to autumn is important. Okay, this next clip I want to show you This is from day 3. If you remember, when I go talk to, I believe it's the judge to get my house back, he says I can have it. I just need to go talk to the prefect to make it official. And so, but what ended up happening was I wasn't able to in time. The bells went off to announce everyone needed to gather. But this time I'm doing this earlier, and I want to see what happens if you actually make it there. So I'm going straight there. And I'm going to fast travel over there, so I'm just going to skip ahead a little bit. So we're over here by the factory. You probably know this place pretty well. So, I wonder why they're all gathered there. Oh, yeah, the plague's here. These conversations with these guys are just the ones when you first encounter the plague, before you even know it's a plague. So I'm gonna edit this stuff out. So they give me the gear, I gotta make sure the mask is equipped. So this is the very first time in the game where I'm going into an infected area. It feels a little risky, kinda, for that document. I suppose it would be tempting for someone to turn back and not do it. It's not a hugely important quest anyway. So I'm just looking around for the entrance to the building. This one's boarded off, though. Okay. I guess I gotta go back around. Here we go. So, the prefect is here inside this plague-ridden house. Kind of strange that he'd still even be here. I don't like the look of that. Let me look around, see if I can do something instead of walking by that. I hope that's not him right there. He doesn't have any documents about my house, like a deed or anything on him. Maybe I'll find something like that in these cabinets. Doesn't seem like it's dropping my immunity to loot. I'm checking if the durability of my gloves goes down too. That green thing is rotten food. I think I noticed the durability does go down. It's a little bit at a time though. Alright, if I have to run through there, I should make sure my immunity's good and high. Good, I didn't have to touch that one down there. Let's see if I can avoid this one now. It's really stalking the hall in here. Uh-oh. It got me. Could have been worse. That wasn't great. No sign of any documents or any prefect dead or alive yet. This feels a little bit like Thief having to dodge the patrol. Except the patrol doesn't divert and chase you. There's a guy right there. Well, I got the rights to my house for all the good it seems that'll do. But hey, I guess I can take anything I want. Oh, so that is dropping my immunity. Yeah, my glove durability definitely does go down as I touch things. I suppose I'm pretty much done in this building. So all I gotta do is leave and carry on with my day, and I'll probably just edit the rest of this clip of me walking outside out. So yeah, overall this playthrough's been going pretty smoothly, although we hit our first snag at the end of day 3, the start of day 4, when the infection comes around, and I'll show you what happened. So day 4 is also when you go with Sticky to get the toolkit. You talk to the shopkeeper and distract him while Sticky steals it. While I was there, I bought a few things I don't think I had in my other playthrough, so I captured the description so you can see what they are. So day 4 proceeded pretty normally otherwise, except for the infection results once again, and I'll show those. So some of these I'm much less happy with than others. You might be able to notice I treated Bad Grief. I didn't bother treating the Stomatin brothers. I'm trying to be selective with my resources, and I don't really care too much if someone has to die. I don't really see how they're very important. So there's another quest outcome that's a little bit different. I didn't get any pictures or video of this one, but you might remember that there was a quest where you hear piano music outside a house. You go inside and you find Capella. She's saying she came in because she heard it. And then later on you hear it outside another house. You run inside. I think it's some random person. And it turns out they were playing the music themselves because they heard it from somewhere. And then later on you hear it outside another house, you go inside and you have this conversation with the changeling. Well, this time around, after the second time, when it's just some random guy who played the piano, I went to visit Capella to talk to her about something else. And I had a chance to talk to her about the fact that it was some random guy who was playing that song. And I don't remember exactly what the outcome or the options were, but basically I had a chance to tell her her ghost was still out there or something, whereas if you play it all the way through, then you mostly tell her there is no afterlife. So that was just kind of an interesting little tonal difference. So here's another little minor difference. If you remember on day 6, there was a pretty important conversation with Katerina. She is the mistress, or she is a mistress, and she's having these troubled visions, and then you talk to her, and then you see a vision of this rat creature who tells you some bad stuff. Well, I happened to be in the neighborhood, and on day 5, a day before that conversation, I just happened to notice people standing outside, and I started a conversation, and I started recording a little after it began, but then you go inside and you can't talk to her yet, but all the shadows that are inside say the same things they'll be saying the next day when I showed that conversation with her. I found another new conversation. This was a pretty interesting one. I drank some Twyrene, and it told me to go talk to the judge, Georgie Kane. So this was the conversation that ensued. I didn't get the very beginning of it, but I got a good amount of it. And it just kind of tells you a little bit more about the philosophy of him and Simon and the kind of the architecture of the town. I'm going to pause a moment to underline something about what he just said. I've pointed out before that there's a lot of imagery about cocoons and larvae, and here I think is where we see where it's going with that. It seems like people are seen as kind of in cocoons, and the goal, like part of the social project or something of this town or of what these people want to do, is to turn us into the butterflies they think we can become. There was another quest where I actually did make a different decision. So it was when I got the chalk and I had to mark off doors where people were housing the living and dead together. And there were these two assholes who wanted to keep me from looking inside. And that was a difficult fight. It took a lot of resources. And I kind of decided I should be role-playing this a little better. Like, I shouldn't be deciding that I can take on these two by myself. So I just turned around and left, but I also marked the door off with an X. I figured, well, I'll just let them barricade everyone in that house. It's kind of monstrous now that I say it, but so far the outcome I don't think has been any different from doing that. So the rest of the day went pretty normal, but when we got to midnight, I made sure to record what happens with the infection reel. And, well, I'll just let you see what happens. So I went there that night after midnight. I went to the theater, and I saw the play like the same as it was last time, but this time I noticed that I missed last time. You can talk to Mark Immortal. And there's an interesting little conversation, so I actually recorded it on video. I realized pretty quickly it was kind of interesting. So I have that here to show you.
Of some outside force.
Okay, so now there's one final thing before we get back into the episode. So when you are saving Reuben, when the kin are gathered outside, this time I was actually able to lure them away and he escaped. And so when I found him the next day, the conversation with him was a little bit different, and I thought it was actually kind of a nice little outcome. So I'm going to show parts of that conversation, but I don't have the whole thing. So here it is.